Little test, just gonna make sure that my audio sounds good. Alright. Cool. Cool. And then also yeah, you can read everything. Alright. Get a pop out chat real quick. Okay. Alright, we're gonna be doing some things. I am so tired, oh my god. Okay. Alright, right. Alright, we're going to be working on the authorization of this operation. Authorization of this operation. Let me go ahead and just commit a couple changes here to a different project. Alright. Oh, I never changed the name of my stream or anything. It's probably like YouTube or some shit like that, or Minecraft or some shit like that. Yeah, just as my live stream. Let's edit some things here. Flask API development. Doing some I don't know, API work or something like that. What would it be under educational? Science and technology, I guess. I don't know. What is it? Okay, looks good. Cool. How does my audio sound? Cool. Wait. Okay, so I definitely have to get closer to the mic. Okay. Alright, so let's get right into this. Let me just explain if anybody's watching this like on the playback. Basically, this is just a converter app. You can actually check it out right now. Actually, I'm not going to share the URL quite yet. Soon, in the future. So let's jump straight into this. We're not working on this. We are going to be doing some Flask login stuff. So let's jump straight into this. And let me just pull up real quick. Let me pull up a couple things that I need, because I am not very smart. Let me grab from my... There we go. Alright. So I need a couple things from Flask. Going to need... I'm actually going to need from Flask login. What do I need? I think it's the manager, login manager. And then, I'm trying to think. Now we need to configure. This needs to be in the utils file, but we'll do that later. So let me just configure this real quick. So we're going to configure app. And you can put this in a function called create app. That's pretty common. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me one sec. Getting a call. Sorry about that. I'm back. Particular person needed a Albertsons number. Girlfriend tends to do that. All right, so you can put the app they actually use. It's called Create App. You'll see it in a lot of like larger Flask projects. Yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. So typically with like larger like app factories and stuff, you'll have a function called Create App, and you'll pass in config file name, which you can like set all your database and stuff, and all of the app construction happens in here. And this is also good for a CLI as well. But I don't plan on having a CLI, and this is just kind of a side project, so I'm not going to be implementing that. I have implemented that on a couple other APIs, but yeah, don't really need it here. Okay, so we're just going to configure it straight from the app.py file. So do I have a config? I'm sorry, I haven't touched this project in a couple days, and I can't quite remember. I set it up at like 2 in the morning, and the problem when I set things up at 2 in the morning, it sometimes gets a little bit dicey in terms of like remembering things. So let me try to remember this the best I can. We're also going to need bcrypt, and I think it's Flask bcrypt. Yeah, import bcrypt. So we're going to configure the login manager. Login manager. We don't need a comment. Don't want to over comment. So we're going to say login manager equals. And we're going to say login manager and pass in our app. What this does is it basically allows us to use this login manager to handle user accounts and stuff like that. And of course, we will also need to be making a. I wonder if I could put it in here. What did I make this data folder? I don't remember. Probably don't need it. No, we don't need it. I'll delete that. What we do need is a data.db, but we'll get to that in a second. We will also need a models file. We have SQL Alchemy. Speaking of SQL Alchemy, let's get that as well. SQL Alchemy. And we're going to create a DB. Actually, we will configure database, and then this will be configure login manager. So we're just going to say db equals, and then we're going to construct it and pass in our app. And we need to set a couple. Actually, before we say that, we need to set a couple things about our app. So we need to set a couple config. And let me look this up real quick because I can't remember off the top of my head what it is for SQLite. It's like SQLite and then like 3 dashes or something like that. I cannot remember. Let me go over to another one of my repositories real quick. Where do I have one? Here, I have it here. Data.db, right? I have a data.db. Oh, I do. It's just not saved. Engine. Where is it? Init? Yeah, in our init. Okay, yeah, right here. So, yeah, when you're creating, there it is. All right, so it's all caps. SQL Alchemy underscore database underscore URI, which is the internal URL. And it's going to be SQLite, and I knew it was 3 dashes. We're going to say data.db. So it specifies the SQLite database file that we're going to be using. There's 2 other configurations I'm just going to copy from my other repository that I'm looking at right here, which is this. Okay, great. Okay. Alright, so now that we've configured these app configurations, we pass the app to SQL Alchemy, and we create an object, and we're calling that DB. It's our database. Then we're going to configure our login manager here. So yeah, we have this object called login manager, and this is going to manage a lot of it. So we also do need to specify a view and we need to specify a view. So basically, if there's a required login and you're not authorized, it'll basically redirect you to this URL. So we'll do our login manager dot, I'm gonna have to remember it's something like login view, and we're gonna say that equals just login. Great. So let's go ahead and now that we have that done, let's go ahead and create our models next. So we're going to do 2 things. We need to make a user. What else do we need? I think we just need a user for now. Yeah. Okay, and then for the user, so we're going to say from Flask login import, it's something like user mixin. So what this does, you can basically create a class and set the subclass as user mixin, or the superclass as a user mixin, and also a DB model. And what that's going to do is that basically tells the login manager, hey, this is basically treat this like a user class that's managed by the login manager. So then we're going to need to import is that from .app, import db, and then we also need the login manager. Great. So let's go ahead and make our user class here. So we're going to say db.model, and we're also going to do user mixin. And again, what this is doing is it's it has 2 inheritance here. So these are both superclasses, and it's telling it that it is a SQL Alchemy model, but then also it is managed by our login manager. So let's start with the ID. I don't know why VS Code does this. I've never known why, and you'll see this in a second. Primary key. That's true. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But for some strange reason, SQL Alchemy, as soon as I save this, watch, it's going to give me an error. See? I know that there's a way with the pylint to actually block this, but just for now, I don't care enough. But I've never known why that is. God, I am so tired. Okay, so we're going to just start with the ID, and we're going to say email for a user, so you have to sign up with an email. And this is just going to be a string, and we'll give it a max character length of like 100, because I don't think any emails are going to go past 100. This is a unique property as well, and should not be nullable. What else? What other kind of information do we need? I think that's realistically it. We really don't need much else. The only reason I say that we really don't need much else is just because I'm trying to think, because this isn't like a social network, it's just a conversion thing for converting, and so users are really just going to be using it for either authorizing an API, or I guess, now that I think about it, because I would like to have some kind of paid subscription as well, or paid service where, there's a limit per account or per IP. So for example, if you don't have an account, and so it'll basically track your IP address, and it'll assign basically a rate limit to your IP. And then if you have an account, then it bumps up your rate limit. And then if you pay for like $1 a month or $2 a month or some, why would I ever make it anything more than that? Then it would be, unlimited, or 1 million conversions or something like that. So I guess a user, obviously is going to have I think the question though that I'm trying to figure out is, how in depth do I need to get with the user information? Probably not that in depth. And I'll cross that bridge when I have to. So I'll just make password for now. Obviously, though, I want to be thinking with scale in mind. And nullable is false. All right, and then each one is going to have a rate limit, and that's going to be set equal to JSON. And we'll set the default equal to just an empty dictionary. So I will have to create a new object, or like a new handler for the rate limit. But essentially a user is going to have a rate limit, which is just going to be, a dictionary object. And essentially, trying to think this through. Should it be a JSON object or should it be another table? Should a rate limit be in its own row? I feel like that's a little bit extra, to be honest. Or should it just be an integer, like you can only do so many conversions per... I should just have it be an integer. I don't know. Because I could imagine that some conversions are going to take more than others, I suppose. We'll just have it be an integer for now. But in the future, we can change this to... we can change this to... what could we change this to? A JSON object, so it'll be a dictionary. So we can basically... Or we can make an entire new model for it, right? So the idea would be that we can set specific rate limits on specific modules. But as of right now, we'll leave it. It's fine. And then finally an API key. So each user will kind of have their own API key to authenticate the... And this will be a 32-bit API key. And nullable will equal false, and then default equal from secrets import typing hex. So we're just gonna have it generate an API key, 32-bit API key, just with random, whatever. But a user does need an API key that is not. This should also be nullable as well. We'll set a default rate limit to like 1,000 a day, something like that. 1,000 converts it 100. I'll have to figure that out as time goes on, but we'll say 50 for now, just to start. Name I don't think is really necessary. Billing information will get there when we cross that road. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is fine. So we got the model. Let's go ahead and create this model actually and make sure that we have everything correct. And have I been updating my tests? I have, right? Kind of. Yeah, I have all my. So I'll have to create a bunch of tests. I'll do that off stream because I have to go pretty soon. I have about 30 minutes before I go. But let's just go ahead and go into here, and we'll import this. And we'll say dot models, or we'll say from sc dot models import, or dot app import app db. Great. So let's do db dot create all and see if we get any errors. Looks like we did not. Great. Right. Looks good. So we created our database now, which is good. Do they have? I'm just curious. Ooh, that looks nice. Can we install this? Can I see? Does it work with SQLite? It does. All right, I'll install it. Great. Cool. Cool. Oh, we got this fucking cool. I might have to restart it though. At any rate, let's go ahead and try to make a new user, just for testing as well. So, Python. So we'll say from simple convert dot models import user. So there we go. Looks good. And we'll say user equals user, and then we'll say, oh, we need to run it through bcrypt. Yeah, we need to run it through bcrypt. So we might as well create an API endpoint, which I think we have an API. Yeah, but we're gonna make a new file, call it auth.py. So the auth is basically going to handle anything user related, right? So we'll do, let's see, I'll have this off to the right so I can have reference. But I do know that we need from Flask import blueprint at the very least. Probably request, JSONify, and render template. Actually, for now, yeah, no, well, we'll need it in the future. This is wrong, by the way. That is very, very wrong. That is not PEP 8. There we go. That looks better. Save that. All right. And I can't believe I almost just did the same exact thing that I did right there. So how does it do that? That's really annoying. Okay, anyway. So what else do we need? Oh, now it doesn't. Now it we will need that, and then we will also need the bcrypt. There we go. Okay, so we got that. Now let's make the blueprint first. So we'll say auth equals blueprint, and then we give it a name, and then we give it literally pass in name. All right, so let's do our route. I'm gonna do dash login. And we'll do methods equals get and post. just do standard naming convention of auth underscore login, and from now on we'll just do auth, and then, yeah. Alright, so first off we have to get our arguments. So we're going to get the JSON first of all. Okay, so actually, why would we be getting? Doesn't make any sense. Just do post. So I'll write the docs for the boring stuff like the doc string later, which is what I always tell myself. But let's go ahead and it's going to authenticate with an email. I'll just say request.get JSON .get email. The password be request.get JSON .get .get password. The remember will be request.get JSON .get remember. And then the what else do we need? Oh yeah, the next. So we will need, if there is a next field, like it was a redirect or something. And the more that I'm thinking about this, the more I feel like I should just assign this to a variable. Alright. And then once we're done with that, we'll just delete the request data. Save up some memory. Alright, so got that. Now we're going to log in, actually. So, how will we do that, you might ask? Well, first we have to parse the remember. So if there is a remember, it's not none, then we're going to say remember equals true if remember in. And thing about now that I remember, isn't there a way in Flask to parse? Isn't there a way to parse? There is, right? There's a way. I don't remember though. Yeah, I don't remember. That's using the Rust API, which I'm not using. So yeah, same exact thing. Alright, that's fine, I guess. One sec, I'm going to... Hold on. Alright. Just need to make sure my mic was still good. Alright, so we've parsed the remember option. So now let's actually log in. So we're going to have to query, or have to get the user. So we're going to say Do we import user? We did not. From cs.model import user. So we're going to import our user class here. We're going to say user.query.filter by, and we're going to say email equals email dot first. And so then we're just going to say if not user. So if there's no user, we're just going to return back. Let's return back an object. Just say status failure. Pass in some data and just say could not find user. I'll just pass in that email option. And then write at 79 characters. Oh, but then I have to say, what is it? 401, I think, is unauthorized. Hold on. Unauthorized code. What is it? 401 unauthorized. We're gonna have to parse this out. God damn. It's fine. Not that big of a deal. What is that at? 70? 58? That's fine. That looks horrible. Yeah, I'll just keep it. Screw Pepe. I hate people that are snobs about it anyway. Even though I know it does make your code look better. But, you know. Alright, so then we're going to use bcrypt. Wait a minute. Did we make... I thought we made it not capital. Wait. Oh, we never set up bcrypt. Oh. I'm so tired. I need to go pretty soon here. I'm just dying right now. Alright, but let's set up bcrypt. I think bcrypt has to be set up before the login manager. So here, we need to do bcrypt equals bcrypt, and then we're just going to pass in app. And then if, and we're going to import bcrypt. No. Lowercase. There you go. So if bcrypt dot, and I think it's something like check or isn't it check? Hold on. What the hell? Why isn't it coming up? Oh. That's why. Yeah, check password hash. There we go. And then we're going to pass in we're going to pass in the password. So our user.password and then our password hash. So if the password hash is correct, then we're going to log in that user. And then we're going to set remember equals to remember. Great. And then that's it. But if, so we're going to say if let's do this. We'll do next, and we'll actually use a nice 3.8 update. Use the, what is that called? Whale something. I can't remember operator. Whale operator? Walrus operator. The walrus operator. We're going to use a walrus operator and say if. In fact, we don't even need to define it up here. Look at that. We're going to save some data. We'll say, wait, why is this in there? Hold on. What is that? Oh yeah. we'll just do request.getJSON.get next. No, it's an argument, that's why. Args.get next. So if that exists, if it does, then we're going to assign it to that next variable. Isn't it, I'm sorry, why is this giving me an error? Logs a user in. Yes, you should pass the actual user object to this. Why is that giving me an error? I don't understand. It's not none. It's set right here. Weird. What if it is then, sorry, one more. We're going to redirect to next. Else, we're just going to return, status, success, and we'll say just like a 200 code. Again, I'll write the doc string for this later, but that's kind of the idea. Alright, I have to go take a shower and stuff. It was just kind of a short stream. I just kind of want to see how this would go, like, in terms of how easy it would be to stream. But anyway, anyone that stuck around, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.